y a les sirènes et tout.
On Thursday, October 17th, southern France was hit by relentless downpours that triggered widespread flooding, paralyzing entire regions and causing extensive damage. The severity of the situation led authorities to issue the highest red warning level for 6 regions in the southern half of the country.
Viens la voiture.
The intense weather event caused severe transportation disruptions, prompted mass evacuations, and placed communities on edge as the floodwaters rose rapidly. In the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region, the impact was particularly severe. Local authorities, in a race against time, evacuated around 900 residents to prevent any casualties. Among those evacuated were children from numerous schools, whose buildings were at risk as water levels surged. As schools shut down, the region ground to a halt, and families were forced to abandon their homes. Television broadcasts across France showed distressing images of flooded motorways, where torrents of water made roads impassable. In some cases, vehicles were left abandoned, submerged in deep floodwaters as drivers sought safety on higher ground. The commercial areas were also hit hard, with supermarkets submerged and entire shopping centers rendered inaccessible. France's national motorway operator issued a stark warning to travelers across the southern regions, indicating that over 30 motorways were at risk of experiencing severe disruptions due to the flooding. By the evening, the Interior Ministry had deployed thousands of firefighters to assist in emergency rescue operations and flood prevention measures. Sirens blared across multiple towns, signaling the urgent need for evacuations and preparation as conditions worsened. The firefighters, working around the clock, faced the daunting task of rescuing people trapped in their homes, clearing flooded streets, and diverting water away from critical infrastructure. The torrent of rain turned major roads into treacherous rivers, swallowing vehicles and making travel perilous. Regional trains between Lyon and Saint-Étienne were brought to a standstill as tracks disappeared under the floodwaters.
L'Érieux en creux.
Local officials warned that the tracks were impassable, and that it could take days for the situation to return to normal. Train services were suspended, leaving thousands of passengers stranded. The main highway linking the two cities was similarly overwhelmed by the floodwaters, leading to a full closure. Local roads were shut down as well, with authorities urging residents to stay indoors and avoid venturing into flooded areas, where the risk of being swept away by strong currents was high. The towns of Annonay and Landslide in the Ardeche department were among the hardest hit by the deluge. In Annonay, streets were transformed into raging rivers as floodwaters swept away debris, uprooted trees, and even dragged cars through the submerged roads. One particularly dramatic video clip captured the moment a Mini Cooper was swept away by the floodwaters, tossed down the street like a toy car in the face of the rushing current. Residents were seen struggling to wade through knee-deep water, trying to reach safety as the floodwaters showed no signs of receding. In Landslide, firefighters reported that the strength of the floodwaters was enough to carry away entire vehicles, underscoring the sheer force of the water as it poured through the town. The fire brigade worked tirelessly, responding to emergency calls and rescuing those trapped by the rising waters. In some cases, residents were forced to take refuge on the roofs of their homes or seek higher ground, waiting for help to arrive. The sight of streets littered with debris, trees, and damaged vehicles became a grim reminder of the destructive power of nature. The devastating floods in southern France came just a week after the remnants of Hurricane Kirk churned across Western Europe, bringing heavy rains and storms to regions already struggling with saturated ground and vulnerable infrastructure. Central Europe also faced its share of weather-related challenges earlier this year, with the worst flooding in over 2 decades wreaking havoc across the continent.